Welcome to the Fire and Earth podcast with your hosts, Jason Mefford and Kathy Groover. Fire and Earth, giving you the keys to unlock your limitless potential.
Welcome to another episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. I'm your co-host, Jason Mefford.
And I am Kathy Groover, and I have a very important question for you. Question for everybody.
For everybody. Okay.
I mean, you, because you're here, and that would be just rude of me not to ask you, and it's going to be a shitty discussion if I don't include you in this.
I know, but I was like, oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot. Well, you're going to anyway, because we're going to.
I'm going to anyway. Snuggle in or go out and play?
Snuggle in or go out and play. All right. So this is one of the would you rather snuggle in or go out and play? Interesting question.
I know, it's a weird one. So how are you feeling today? It's wintry. Yes, we're in Southern California, but it's still cold outside.
It's cold for us, right? So you've got your beanie on, I've got my sweater on. You know, it's like today, you know, when it's cold, I often feel like it's nice to just snuggle in, right? Have the little fire going or be by the heater, put the lap blanket on, right? And just kind of snuggle in. So yeah, I think for me, it's probably part of it could be temperature related, right? So obviously the colder it is, if it's kind of overcast outside, then you kind of feel like you just want to kind of snuggle in and have some soup and watch TV or something, you know? But when the sun is shining bright, it's like, oh, I want to be out there, right? So for me, probably the weather probably has some to do with it, but probably also just, you know, how I'm kind of feeling emotionally for the day, right? I don't know, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, being that I grew up on the East Coast, it was cold for a lot. I mean, I was in Pittsburgh, where from like September to March, April, it's chilly. You know, there's a chill in the air, and that was the time to go play. You know, the autumn time.
Because you were out playing in the snow and everything.
Yeah, and the leaves, and you know, just up here in Santa Barbara, the other day it was bright and sunny, but it was still only in the 50s, and I was so happy to be outside because there's that crispness and everything smells a little bit different. So for me, it's not so much weather related; it's just more my feeling. Like there's some days where you wake up and you put your cranky pants on because they're comfortable, and you left them by the bed that night, and there's the holes in just the right places. And you kind of don't want to see anybody. You don't want to do anything like that. You're in that mind space, that ego state of, I just want to be by myself and kind of curmudgeonly and not interact with anybody. Whereas on other days you wake up and you're like, I want to go play. I want to see people. And, you know, and because my work is like play, because I'm either, you know, coaching people or massaging people, or, you know, I get to interact with typically one-on-one all day. It's kind of like play for me. And so that also dictates, do I feel like working today? You know? And today I woke up and I've got you, and then I've got a board meeting, and then I've got clients all day, and then I've got dance class. And that is like exciting me about, oh, I get to play all day kind of thing. So, you know, as adults also, do we play? I mean, like, we don't go out and play.
Yeah, we don't do that, and we don't do that enough. But as you were talking too, I was wondering as well too, you know, with that question, that probably, you know, people who are more introverted versus extroverted might kind of swing one way or the other, right? Like a severely introverted person, and I happen to be one of those, right? Might be more like, nope, I just want to kind of go into my cocoon and be by myself, right? Where the really extroverted people are like, no, I need people around. Let's go play, right?
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong. And again, each day you might feel a little different, but you bring up the point about play, and as adults that we don't really play, which I think is probably important, because I know, you know, I don't as much as I should, right? And there's a great John Mellencamp lyric, I think it's in Hurt So Good. You know, he says, when I was a young boy, I said, put away those young boy ways. Now that I am so much older, how I long for those young boy ways.
Yes.
Right. And it's like, as we get older, you know, we get jobs, we get mortgages, we get financial responsibilities. We tend to kind of get heavier in our life. We give up the childlike wonder, the excitement, right, of being a child.
Yep.
That we need, right?
Yep.
So it's like we all need to spend some time doing something that's playing, and maybe for adults, right? Because you kind of went through your schedule for the day. Maybe some of our play as adults are actually hobbies, right?
Yes.
So like you're going to dance class tonight because you love to dance,
Yeah.
right? So that gets you all excited. Well, if you like doing underwater basket weaving, if that's your hobby and that lights you up, well, that's a way that adults actually play. But do we actually have hobbies? Are we actually taking time to do it? Because I think a lot of times we don't, right? We
Yep.
just let life get in the way, and we don't pick up and do whatever the hobbies happen to be that we actually like to do. Because
Absolutely.
when you start engaging in it, it's like the time just flies by.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Well, and also it's about, and I was thinking about this, but you're talking about the extrovert introvert thing, which I hadn't even considered, right? I'm a huge extrovert. I thrive being around people. I love being stimulated by that. Now I hit my limit, right? Especially after like a speaking gig where then you go to the luncheon and everyone's talking to you and everyone wants to, have a piece of you at that point. That's exhausting to sustain that. And then that's when I need to go to my room for about 10 minutes and go, I'm an only child, I'm an only child, I'm an only child. And then after about 10 minutes, I'm done and I could go back out and, socialize again. But it's like we were invited to a Christmas party over the weekend. And I was set to go. I was ready to get dressed up and go interact with people and be on and make friends and meet new people and then go to the castle afterwards and see more people and see an old friend. And I woke up Sunday morning. We had been to a party the night before. We had a very busy week. We're looking at another very busy week. And I went, I don't want to get in the car and drive 2 hours each way to have to be on. Like I was just, I wanted to stay in and snuggle. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I didn't want to go play. I really just needed time by myself or with my partner at the house. And so I honored where I was. And I had told the person at the party, maybe because it's a long drive. And I messaged him and said, look, I'm so sorry. I'm just wiped and I'm looking for a long day and I just can't drive to LA one more time. And he's like, oh my God, no problem. We'll miss you, but we'll get you next year. And, it's important to honor where you are because, like you said, moment to moment, that want to play, want to stay in might change. So honoring where you are and being true to what you actually want, I think is incredibly important. And so often we don't do that.
Well, and it is, checking in with yourself.
Yeah.
For what you need at that time, right? Sometimes you might need to snuggle and you might need to do it for 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe that's all you need, right? Like you said, going back to your room after a speech, I'm an only child, I'm an only child, kind of a thing. 10 minutes gets you kind of reset to then be able to go and do what else you need to do, right? And if that's what you feel like, I mean, some days I feel like all of a sudden I just get hit and I'm really, really tired.
Yeah.
And I look at my calendar and it's like I could push myself through, but it's like, well, you know what? I do have a couple hour window of time right now. I think I'm going to go use part of that to take a nap, right? And recharge so that I feel better for the rest of the day, right? Or there might be times when it's like, oh, I just want to go outside and play. I want to just go run around and kick the ball or I don't know, whatever, right? And, do it. Right. If it feels like that's what you need, because, just like I remember, I go back to the story of when I was a little kid and I watched my dog eating grass and I'm like, it'd go out and it was kind of like, jumping on the grass. And I'm like, that is weird. Why is a dog eating grass? Right. And it was either my mom or I think it was my mom said, animals know what they need. And so, she's, for whatever reason, digestive or whatever else, she needs a little bit of grass, right? So that's why she's doing that.
Yep.
But as humans, how often do we do that?
Eat grass.
Eat grass? Yeah. We usually smoke grass, not eat grass, but
it's a world of edibles.
A world of edibles now too. But yeah.
How often do we listen to those things that we need? Yeah.
Yeah, right. And some days, like you said, some days we just need to snuggle down. Some days we need to go out and play. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to be contrary to what I just said. There are times you do have to go to the party. There are times you do have to find a way to rally and tap into that energy because you said you'd go and you really do need to. It's a business function or it's something that you promise that you would do. if I decided that I was going to go down to that party, I very easily could have pumped myself up into getting excited to go. So at that point, it was not only a choice, it was honoring what I needed, but it was also me questioning, why don't I want to go? Because I know people who are more introverted who, geez, they need to get out of the house. Like, you need to go interact with other people. It's for your own health and wellness. You need to go like talk to other humans. So is it just laziness? Is it, questioning yourself, which we don't often do? Why do I not want to go to this party? Well, it's a 2-hour drive. I don't want to get dressed up. I was just down in LA. I've got to drive down to LA again. Gas prices are through the roof. Whatever it is, but why? Why don't you want to go? And then you get to nab that knowledge, that self-knowledge and knowledge of the situation, and you get to make an informed decision from there, as opposed to, I don't want to go.
Well, and I think that is an important thing. And we've talked about ego states before, right? Because again, like you said, I mean, sometimes, people snuggle down or just don't want to do anything, right? And if that's out of laziness or things like that, I mean, sometimes we do just have to get shit done.
Yeah.
Right. And so you sometimes just have to kind of push yourself to be able to do it. So we're not, as we're talking about listening to our body, like you said, sometimes you have to push it through.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side, right? Some people would rather play all day and then not actually take care of, some of the things that they actually do need to take care of, right? So they're playing and distracting themselves. You can distract yourself by playing all day, or you can distract yourself by snuggling in all day. And neither one of those on the extreme is usually the right answer, right? And you've got to navigate in the middle of that.
Balance. Yep. And balance is constantly correcting. It's not like you hit balance and then you're done. Whoop, I'm balanced. No, because something's going to come in to throw you off balance. So we have to be adaptable to our states, emotionally, ego states, the environment around us. Maybe you're planning on going to the party and then you look at the traffic and there's been a big accident. It's going to take you 5 hours to get there. And in that moment you go, there's no way I can go. I'm not going to be able to get there. It's about pivoting in the moment too, about honoring where you are in that space. Yeah.
Good discussion.
I know.
Oh,
it's like totally cool. Yeah.
It's like totally, dude.
Yeah. I'm going to go play now.
The
cat is ready to go play because he's standing at the door like.
And I was gonna say, you got your hat on. There's just no snow outside to play in, but you got other stuff to go play in. So there you go.
I got clients to go play with. So. Yeah. All right. Well, once again, fabulous. All right. Honor yourself. Honor if you want to go play or if you want to snuggle in. It's cold in most parts of the country right now, so snuggling sounds like a nice way to spend a weekend. So I'm Kathy Gruber. I can be reached at kathygruber.com.
And I'm Jason Mefford. I can be reached at jasonmefford.com. Go out and have a great week, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Fire and Earth Podcast. See ya.